Aram ejected himself out of the pod and watched it plummet and splash into a lake of lava. After allowing himself to free fall for a moment or two, his thumb pressed on a button on the side of the gauntlet, and his jetpack thrusters ignited, slowing his descent until he was hovering. He glided for about a minute before he spotted land and resumed gradually descending. At last, his feet alighted on smooth rocky ground, and he cut the power to his jetpack. After looking up at the dense volcanic clouds from whence he fell, and eyeing the lava in which his pod submerged, he shook his head in frustration. "Well, I guess I'm stuck here," he muttered and sighed despairingly. "Unless by some chance Samus is on this planet." Unsure of what to do next, Aram looked around him and spotted a patch of thinner atmosphere on the horizon, so he reactivated his jets and glided in that direction. Once he reached the area, he saw a mountain further away where the sky seemed even clearer. "The Apollyon," he thought to himself. "Why were they here? Are they looking for Samus too?" To say he was not tempted to abandon search altogether this early on would be untrue. But Aram was not a forgetful man. He remembered his wife. He remembered his son. He remembered the 11 years he spent fighting in the war, the very civil war that broke out during the late Federation's attempts to capture Samus herself. He fought on the side that honored Aram as the hero she was, and the Confederation won. Would he turn back now, having come thus far, on what he fought for and believed in, even when it seemed all hope of the hunter's return was lost? Pressing on, he surmounted the hill and came to a cliff, and upon looking down, he saw nothing but lifeless landscapes of dirt and stone for miles and miles. Even still, his patience and perseverance found their reward as something else, something clearly artificial, caught his attention. The unmistakable geometric shape of a hexagon in the wall of yet another cliffside. He recognized it at once as a Chozo hatch, so he glided over toward it, fired a small spurt of energy to disarm the door shield, and passed through the open hatch. On the other side, he found a small valley surrounded by smaller cliff tops. Long since withered vegetation blanketed the dry rock, and Aram noticed a section where the rock had clearly once been smoothed out by water. A few more of the same hatches rested in the sides of the cliffs, including one where the waterfall used to be. It was this door that Aram decided to try next. Immediately on the other end ran a semi-long stone-walled corridor with goth-like arches. He passed through the door on the other side and found himself in open air again, with what used to be a space pirate force field suspension bridge. Now only the broken bent and rusted frames remained. Aram let his feet rest softly on one of the frames like a bird and tested the frame. Even after a few decades, it could still support his weight. It was here that he looked down and noticed an enormous crater beneath him with a huge rocky mass, broken apart and composed of a conglomeration of earth, stone, and ruins. It wasn't long before it dawned on Aram where he was. The crater beneath was the same crater from the impact of the Leviathan seed many, many years ago.